Today's video from Sam4S, we're looking at basic operation on the NR510 and 520F registers. So in this video I'm using the 510F, but the process is the same on both machines. In fact, the only difference between the 510F and the 520F is that the 520 has a second printer, whereas the 510 I'm using only has one printer, and I've got that set to receipt mode. So the first thing you need to make sure when you're processing transactions on the register is that you're in the REG mode. So you've got a key lock here. Whatever metal key you put in will enable you to turn to the reg mode. Some basic keys won't turn any further than that, whereas the manager keys will go all the way around to enable you to do reports and program. But for most operations you just need to make sure you're in register mode. You then need to make sure you've got an operator logged in. So at the moment I've got no one logged in. I can tell that for two reasons. Firstly, when I press any button nothing happens, and secondly because it says closed. Closed means no one's logged in. To log in on this machine, all you need to do is press your operator number, so 1 for example, followed by the clerk button here in the corner. You can see the closed goes, but also it says clerk or clerk 1 on the display, so we now know that someone's logged in. This R on here means that a receipt is switched on, so we can now start selling items. How you use the machine depends on how it's been programmed. So I've got a couple of buttons pre-programmed on this machine. So I've got PLU1 programmed as coffee and PLU2 programmed as sandwich. So if they've been pre-programmed, it makes it a lot easier. As standard, if the machine's unprogrammed, then these buttons are all just called PLU and then the number, and they don't have any price assigned to them, and they're set to be both open and preset, which is why you're able to sell them at zero priced. So normally if you've had your register programmed or programmed it yourself, you'll have it preset with a description and a price. It then may or may not allow you to enter an open price. So these are preset price buttons, so you just press them and sell them. You could have an open department, maybe you've got a specials button, and in which case you sell a variable amount for it each time. So you would type in the price without pressing decimal point and then press the relevant button on the keyboard. If you sell multiples of an item, it's easily done. You can either press the button a lot in a row and it toggles up how many you've sold of each one, or you can use the multiply key. So you type in the quantity, so 10 there, and then this X time button here will multiply that button by 10, so we've sold 10 coffees there. When you've entered all the items in a sale, you then press the subtotal key at the end, and you've got a couple of choices with how you cash the sale off. If they're paying in cash, then you've got a cash button here. You've also got check, or more popular, charge. So charge is the credit card button on the Sam4S machines. So let's say they're paying by card on this transaction, the card payment goes through, it's for the exact amount, so you just hit the charge button. If you've got a receipt, if you've got receipt switched on, then you'll get a receipt automatically print out. If you don't want the receipt to print out with every transaction, you can go into the manager mode, and there's an option for turning the receipt on or off. So you go to line 7, receipt on or receipt off. We're going to turn it off, and that'll stop the auto printing of the receipt. And we can now turn the key back to reg for sales. So what other types of sale can you put through? We've done standard PLUs. On the machine you've got 60 PLUs, but you may have more. So if you've used all your buttons and programmed additional PLUs that aren't covered on the keyboard, you can sell them by typing in their number, so 71 for example, and then hitting the PLU button here. Obviously I don't have that button programmed, but if I had it done, then the price and description would have come up on screen. You can also have fractional entries, so if you were selling items by weight or by measurement, you could type in the weight or measurement, so let's say 5.75, and then multiplied, and if it's a preset item you then just hit the button and it does the calculation for you. You can also do it on open items as well, so let's say 8.25 multiplied by £1 into PLU 60, and again it does the calculation for you. Obviously if you've had it programmed it means a lot more having the description and preset price, because that information will appear not only on the screen, but it'll also appear on the customer receipt if you're having one print out, and it'll also be recorded on your PLU reports. So let's imagine that's the end of this sale. If it's a cash sale, then you type in the amount of money received. I'd always recommend doing that because it then displays the change, so it just makes it a bit easier for you when dispensing the change. So £30 cash, 30, hit the cash button, and then it's till drawer opens, obviously, so you can put the money in and dispense the change. We've got the receipt switched off now, but you can issue a receipt on request. So that's like a popular function, to have the receipt switched off, and then if the customer wants the receipt, you can then print it out on request, but it does only work for the very last transactions. You have to do it there and then. Okay, so that's the basic operation. That's how you do your standard operation on the machine. I've got plenty of videos. If you've not done the programming yet, so you've not set up all your PLU buttons, I'll have videos showing you how to do that, and I'll have another playlist showing you how to do your end of day reports, and at the end of this video it'll follow on to other videos showing you how to use the machine in slightly different ways, give discounts, correct mistakes, that sort of thing. So they'll be appearing on screen now, so feel free to check those out. You can also subscribe to this YouTube channel or visit sam4shelp.co.uk for more. Thanks for watching.